Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next reading. Today I am set up with two of my favorite tarot decks, the Tarot of the Divine, as well as the Pause Tarot Cat deck. I've paired them with two lovely singing bowls, which I will play for you in a moment, as well as two new crystals that I've gotten. An amethyst out of Uruguay, so it's especially beautifully dark and rich, and a moss agate. So I will show those to you quickly here. So hopefully, if I can get it to focus, so you can see it there. And we have the amethyst. Now, before I get started, I just want to let you know that I have updated my Etsy shop with more options for readings, and you will also see in my description that I have updated a Patreon. So if you are someone who's interested in regular readings monthly, I wanted to make it more affordable, so I have a lower rate for people interested in monthly readings. And if that is something that is not available for you right now, there's also the tarot raffle. So if you want to support me on a monthly basis, I believe I'm going to have it there for $11, but I will draw someone from that group every month to have a reading done. So if only one person joins this month, then you're going to get a full reading for $11. But I will try to make sure that it's not the same person every month. But yeah, I wanted to let you guys know I really appreciate all the support I've been getting. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to play this green bowl one more time. And then we have the purple. I'm going to do the green one more. And the purple one more. So you can decide what feels right for you. And you can check in the description to start your reading. All right, so we're starting off with the green bowl and the moss agate, which I will place over here. And one more time, the lovely sound of this bowl, which I will place off to the side. So let's see, we're coming into a new year. What are some of the themes that will be coming through? Oh, apparently that. I'm holding it with my wrist. Oh, it just fell. Hang on. So we've got those, which jumped out right away. That's always fun. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, that felt pretty solid. Oh my goodness. Okay. Should we just do it? I'm pretty good with shuffling. They don't normally fall out in large sections like that. And I feel like I see a lot of major arcana, so I'm kind of saying let's go with it. So I'm going to go with what came out as it came out. We have if I can get it clear there, we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Nine of Cups, the Hermit, the Lovers. Then we have the Page of Swords, the Three of Cups, the Star, and the Two of Coins. I mean, that is, first off, a perfect amount of cards that have fallen into place for us. So I'll place that over here for the time being. And looking at this, I immediately get a sense that there is a sense of coming back to self and a sense of creating better relationships. And I think that you'll be doing this through therapy. This is my guess. Now, to explain, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Generally, I see this as a lucky card, but at the same time, luck would only be in your favor if you take the appropriate action to do so. So it's not so much luck as it is creating the space in order for you to experience what you're desiring. We have the Nine of Cups, often akin to the Nine of Pentacles, which is about financial freedom and independence. This is emotional freedom and independence, or healthy relationships, secure attachment styles. The Hermit, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, keeping to ourselves, getting to know ourselves, stepping away or setting boundaries where we need to set them. And we have the Star, a wonderful sign of hope. Now, the reason I said therapy was anytime I see the Page of Swords card, this is a talking card. This is the card about having curiosity. Swords have a lot to do with thoughts. Page can have a lot to do with getting through the journey, learning the different aspects of the journey. And in particular with this one, with the little bird, it generally represents more of a verbal communication style. We have the Lovers, which I believe is in similar range to the Nine of Cups. So I can see a healthier aspect of a relationship coming in for you, whether that's the current one you have. And I kind of wonder if that's the question here, but we'll get to that. It could be the current one that you have or you're considering, or it could be a brand new one. I would say that there is a need to rebuild a sense of community. That's what I'm getting out of this. The Three of Cups gives me that idea. Friendships, especially if you are a woman and you're seeking female companionship, that will make it easier. I almost feel like these two go together as that kind of conversation to be had. And I do believe that, so you have the Two of Coins here. This is typically more of a serious decision-making process, but it's a grounded decision-making process. It's a process that correlates to something that will be long-term when you decide to do it, but it is a decision that is out of necessity, out of requirement. It's not frivolous, and so it's something that you have to take your time with. I do kind of wonder if it is going between having a relationship or getting that stability and individuality for yourself, because it does just feel like there are a lot of good themes here, but not necessarily a clear idea of what the problem or solution is. So I'm going to grab the cards again and just see if anyone else wants to delight us with their presence. And if you didn't see already at the beginning of the video, I have updated my Etsy store for new readings so that they can be for a wider range, an affordable range. And I also have a Patreon where you can either get monthly readings at a lower rate, or you could join the raffle, which is a much lower price overall, and I pick someone every month to get a full reading. So I got a couple cards there. The things I mentioned are in the description, by the way. So we have Judgment, and we have Four of Swords. Ooh, that's interesting. Let me just see here, because I mean, the Four of Swords and the Hermit tend to go quite well together, even in their coloring, right? But the Four of Swords is a sign of rest. Depending on how you perceive it or the situation that you're in, that rest can feel like restriction. It can feel like, for example, when you break a bone and you love doing sports and all of a sudden you can't do sports anymore, it's a requirement that you're healing. It's a requirement that you're taking care of yourself, right? It's a form of rest, but there is a feeling of restriction that comes with that. And then with the Judgment card, I kind of wonder if your decision-making process is related to judgment, but I also kind of feel like there might be either external judgments, but it does seem more internal judgments as far as going through this process. And that's where I also think the Wheel of Fortune comes in to say, you know, this is about how you see it. Fortune will be on your side if you choose to see the situation you're in positively and accept that you're kind of in this limbo state, this resting state, this restrictive state. You know, it's up to you how you want to determine it. Ultimately, it can be a really wonderful expression of hope, or you can kind of suffer through the decision-making process. But let's see what else we have here, because I have the Threads of Fate Oracle deck, and we can do a little shuffle and see if we have any themes that stick out. No, I don't feel that. Oh, but I do feel that. Let me grab that one. I don't know how to explain why I grab what I grab. I guess I'm not supposed to. You know, the less that we think about it, I think the more authentic it is. Sometimes if I overthink about a card I see sticking out, I actually know that's not the one because I can feel myself enforcing that choice and that it's not natural. This one naturally came out quite nicely, so let's take a look at what we have. We have asking the body, which does make me think even more if there was something, whether it's your own personal image towards your body or an injury. I don't do readings on disease or illness or serious health conditions, so I'm not going to make any major mentions of that. But, you know, for example, if you've broken your leg or something and you're healing, that can be okay. Soul work, which makes a lot of sense here because your soul work is very much a part of your Four of Swords and Hermit journey. I also just have to say, because I'm noticing now, when we look at the Four of Swords and the Page of Swords, it kind of gives me an idea of where your thought process needs to go. So I do see it being more restricted or feeling stuck. And then by talking, you will help release it and allow yourself to experience more emotion. But anyhow, we have the Soul Work card, which is actually my favorite card in this deck. It's the reason I bought this deck. And then Get Wild. What an interesting option. Okay. I wonder if that has to do with the relationship aspect. Sorry, I'm not even holding it in focus. I'm just off thinking to myself. So let's see here. We have, because Get Wild, yes, there's the literal interpretation to it, but there's also a sense of removing judgment. So I almost wonder if this goes with that, this goes with that. I kind of feel like your restriction you're experiencing is actually more self-imposed because of beliefs you have about your experience and your body. And I do think asking your body or connecting with your body would be a very beneficial way to figure this out. So, okay, there's one more deck that I'm going to pull from because I do think that there's something to be said about it. So I'm going to pull from my favorite Divine Feminine deck and see what this oracle has to offer. Just to see if we have kind of like a role model that you can navigate this situation with. Oh, I feel that one. Does anyone else want to come out? No, it doesn't feel like it. Okay, who is it? Oh, sorry, I try to keep my excitement not too obvious, but it's the Cosmic Egg. So this is the Divine Feminine. I hold the universe within me. I am the force of an ever-expanding love. This is a rebirth. So what you're experiencing, I didn't think it was so drastic, but it actually might be far more drastic than I initially expected. It could be that these judgments you're releasing of yourself are actually going to allow you to perceive yourself as a completely different person, which kind of makes sense if you're going from a phase of being restricted to being free to being wild to releasing judgment of yourself. That actually makes a lot of sense. So I hope that's going to go in a positive direction for you. That was actually quite a beautiful card to pull for this reading. So yeah, anyhow, if you want to get more readings like this, as I mentioned, I do have a link to an Etsy and a Patreon now in the description. But yeah, thank you so much for coming here and trusting me with your reading, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. All right, Purple Bowl. Let's start your reading. I love the sound of this bowl. Isn't that gorgeous? And you also have selected my new, oh, that finally zoomed in really nicely. It's my new favorite stone right now. I stopped by the crystal shop the other day and I thought, no, I'm not going to get anything. I'm just going to walk by. And what a mistake that was, because immediately I fell in love with this, and then shortly after a few other things. But apparently right now there's a good selection of amethyst out of Uruguay, and it's got this gorgeous, very illustrious dark color to it. So let's pop that off to the side for now and shuffle through the cards to see what kind of themes are going to be coming in for you. I know we've just started a new year, but even if you're seeing this later, then I hope that the year has treated you well and that it will continue to do so, and that this will provide you insight. If you didn't see at the beginning of my video, I have adjusted my Etsy with more reading options available for you. And there's also now a Patreon, so you can have a monthly reading at a lower price than the Etsy store. Or if it's out of your budget right now, but you would still like to support me, which I am so appreciative of. Sorry, I'm just have to pay attention here. There we go. Okay, but yes, if you do want to support me, I will have a much cheaper tier, which will not be a monthly reading, but it will be a raffle. And I don't expect many people, if any, to join it. But if you do, then you will be able to be put into a monthly raffle to get a full reading for a much lower price so that it can be affordable to someone every month. So as I mentioned, if there's only one person that does it this month, then I guess you will be getting a lovely discounted reading. Man, this deck, I can't talk. This deck feels extra jumpy today. So I think that's enough cards. Probably more than I normally pull. I usually pull kind of less during YouTube and then more for private readings, but this feels more like a private reading almost. So if I can just get it to focus, we have the 10 of Cups. That's a good, oh, and the 8 of Cups. And the 2 of Wands. Oh my gosh. Okay. And the Queen of Cups. King of Pentacles. All right. The Magician. I love this card. It's so cute. 3 of Swords. Okay. Knight of Wands. And the Tower. People always think the Death card is the scary card. This is like, I mean, I don't want to call any of the cards scary, but definitely the most expansive, or the ones that will ask the most of you, will probably be the Tower card. So my goodness. Okay. There's a lot of good and some things we get to work on. Yay you. I'm laughing, but it's only because life is just a silly thing. It's nothing to take too seriously. So 10 of Cups, things have gone very, very well. Family, relationships going very well. But then sudden leaving. Often I reorganize these things, but I don't know why I don't feel like reorganizing this top row yet. It just feels kind of like it is telling a story that things are going great. But despite that, there is a desire to leave it behind and to make a decision for something quite drastic with your life. And oh, that makes sense. Sorry. This is how I work. This makes sense. 10 of Cups, things are going well. 8 of Cups leaving because of heartbreak. You could even have the heartbreak here because 3 of Swords is a very standard heartbroken card. And then we have, let's see, I'm going to say, I'm just thinking it through. Hold on. Oh. And I feel like this is more of an overarching theme rather than a part of the journey. Okay, so. You've got something, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a friendship, that's gone really well, and it ended, unfortunately, not so well, and you've had to leave it behind, but then you're given a decision. And Two of Wands is almost always a travel card. Now, that doesn't mean traveling necessarily to a new country, although it can, but it could even mean just moving to a new city, starting a new job, just changing things up for yourself. And so I think you're going to take this because we have so many interesting, powerful cards towards the end here. Also, because we have the Tower, there's a huge transition, right? You're leaving behind something that's quite chaotic and moving into something that is quite fluid and grounded. So we have the Magician, making your own life, choosing your own future. Knight of Wands tells me that you've made good of these Two of Wands. It is a card that can also sometimes, so it has the association of being charismatic, almost maybe too, what's the word that I'm looking for? Almost jumping into things with so much excitement that you might not be thinking super clearly. So that's something to keep in mind, that you might be getting so excited to do this that you just jump in blindly and you're full of passion and excitement for it. It can also be a very flirtatious card, like you might meet someone that's very flirty, or you might find that you become a more flirtatious person. And by flirtatious, that doesn't always mean for relationships, but just with people in general. You have more of a way to be playful and light and silly. And ultimately, I see that you will find a very strong sense of grounding, a sense of peace and abundance in your life, and that you will be able to love again. You will be able to have peace with your emotions and have a good control of them, but not in a way that is necessarily stoic and quiet, but in a way that is nurturing, that is motherly, and that people will really admire. So I've been through this path more than once, and it's a wonderful time. I mean, this part is not fun, but the rest of it is a wonderful time. So I hope that it's going to be wonderful for you too. I know it seems a little scary, but I promise life is full of scary things, and yet many of us end up being okay. And so I hope that you are too. Anyhow, I'm going to pull from this Oracle deck because it usually represents a lot of good themes that we can consider. So, okay, you too? This deck, sometimes it's jumpy and sometimes it's not. And for you, it's jumpy, but for the last, okay, fine. So, who's coming to say hello today? I'm going to try and put it in the order that it came. Ask Body, this just came up again. Interesting. So, sometimes when things come up a couple times, it's also a note for me to consider, because obviously my energy comes into this. But I think in your case, I can see this card working out very well, because when you're so in your head because you're going through all of this trauma, sometimes this is a really good period to go into things like meditation, into shadow work, into things where they're somatic. So you're just doing it through your body, and see what the body is asking for, because there's that book called The Body Keeps the Score, which talks about how your cells, your entire body keeps track of the pain that it's experienced, even emotionally. So we have that. We have transmute. So that tells me about transmuting said pain that we are discussing into something that is completely up to you. If you want it to be destructive, then it will. If you want it to be beautiful and amazing, then it will. And I think that's quite exciting. And then we have nature, which tells me that wherever you're going with the desire to connect more with nature, or at least when you're making the decision of traveling, that this should be something within your consideration. Is the place that I'm going to have somewhere that I can connect with the divine spirit that is the earth, right? It also can be a great way to check in on the nature of yourself alongside with the Ask Body card, because I think we all naturally have, no pun intended, but we all have aspects of our nature that come out in certain situations. And if you feel like yours has been clouded because of the situation you're in, it might be asking you to reconnect with your innate nature. So we've got that there. And now I want to see from our Divine Feminine Oracle if we have anyone that wants to come out. And nope, okay. I'm not going to force anyone. I just want to see if there are any Oh, that felt like it. Just see if there were any role models, perhaps, to embody in this. Oh, I love this card. Sorry, I got excited because it's one of my favorite cards. This is Sappho, the poetess. Now, she is often associated with a lot of lesbian imagery, concepts, being sapphic. If you look it up, that's a thing. But it says, I love every inch of my body and I love the women in my life fiercely. Now, I'm wondering if this whole experience, at some aspects of it, you've had questions about your body image. Because we have the Ask Body, because we have Sappho, it kind of makes me wonder if that's an aspect for you as well that you might need to connect more with. And also, of course, connecting with the women in your life. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean in a romantic or intimate way. Sometimes it can just mean friendships. It can mean mothers, sisters, mentors, and I think that opening yourself up to that, especially because we have the Queen of Cups here, I would say this is a pretty Sappho card because it is so nurturing, because it is so held in its emotion while also being so feminine at the same time. So I see that reflected here. But anyhow, it looks like you're about to have a very fun time. Chaotic, but very fun nonetheless. And so yeah, I hope you enjoy it. As I mentioned, I will have my readings available if you want something with more detail and a bit more personalized. I'll leave that in the description. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching this video and enjoying this reading. I really appreciate those of you that trust me with this process. So thank you very, very much. But anyhow, I will see you in the next video.